Yeah.
Hello and welcome to this Sunday Chit Chat. Today we have Gouramangi Singh, one of India's most popular defenders during that era when Bob Houghton was the coach and India played their second Asia Cup appearance, made the second Asia Cup appearance in 2011. Welcome, Mangi, to this show.
Thank you, Manbai. Good to see you, and it's my pleasure to be here. Having a chit chat with you. I mean, as you have just mentioned in in the introduction, it's good to see you after a long time. I mean, it's been years.
Same here, same here. Mangi, to talk about your journey, TFA, it started with TFA. I remember you were a 16-year-old at that time. TFA, there is a downfall in TFA. TFA has contributed a lot to Indian football. So, as a former cadet of this academy, how do you feel about it?
Uh, I mean, today, if I look back, that I have managed to achieve something through this game. I think purely I would like to dedicate, or I would like to credit. Give a lot of credit to Tata Football Academy, because I spent my formative 4 years there. As you have mentioned that when I first met you, when you came to Tata Football Academy in Jamshedpur, when we were there in as a young trainee football academy. Like I said again, it's everything for me, and but those years, like you said, that our football academy has given, I don't know, hundreds of international in the last 2 decades, and that's how we also, our generation also got inspired to be one of them. And I think we were like fortunate. We work hard, and somehow we managed to be part of that group. Eventually represented the country. I think that's what we always look up to. And but at the same time, those years, Tata Football Academy was the only premium residential football academy in the country, and people or any young aspiring of my generation or previous generation would dream to be part of that academy, because, like I said, it is everything. We were taken care of very well, and at least anything that I got to learn today, I think it's all the basic and fundamentals about the game and the passion and emphasizing on a lot of other things. It's all because of the academy. But with time, things changes, and now we have the ISL teams are focusing and emphasizing on all the teams to, or even the I League clubs to have their youth teams, and also we have Reliance, we have a lot of other residential academies. So there's a lot of competition. So now I would not say that TFA is not doing well. It's just the fact that now which direction they would like to take, or the management, what sort of plan and strategy, and like I said again, the direction they are looking to take in the next few years. uh, so so I mean, I would love them to be playing a bigger role again.
Probably you are the only Northeast player who may not have had a longer stint in Calcutta football. You
Mm.
preferred Goa with Churchill, lot of success in the win tempo, and more or less on the western side of Indian football. So, what was that? What was it like? Why you decided to focus more on the western Indian clubs rather than playing in Calcutta, where every footballer dream to represent any of the big three?
Well, because I come from Northeast, I come from Manipur, and Kolkata will always be very close to my heart. And I think saying that, I think it's just that it happened to be a different time in football, in Indian football. When I say Indian football, because I passed off from Tata Football Academy in the year 2004, and I think 2003, if I'm not wrong. I think please correct me there. If I'm not wrong, it was Mohan Bagan who won the National Football League in 2003 season. Then 2004, when for some reason, I signed for them. I don't know how many people know about it, but I signed for Mohan Bagan, and for some reason, changed in my heart, or for some reason, it didn't work out. So I signed. I went to Dempo, on loan before the National League starts. So I I was very much part of the preseason, and I played a couple of games for Kolkata League, for Calcutta League. Then for some reason it didn't work out. Then I think it was very much, it was a very difficult phase, those few months. But somehow I think I listened to my heart and my instinct, and I said like, Kolkata, those days. I mean, Mohan Bagan is like huge name, and still it is a huge club. And for me, I felt as a young kid, just passed off from the academy to establish myself. For some reason, I just felt because Dempo was showing keen interest on me that it would be nice for you to develop yourself as a as a young boy. So that's where, like I said again, it was a different time in Indian football. So for me, somehow I managed to convince. Even I remember, I had to pay some transfer fee. Probably I'm the first Indian football player who paid the transfer fee. 2004, I'm talking about. Nobody really know about it, but I had to had some difficult time with Mohan Bagan because they were not ready to release me. Even I ended up going to the court, like just for me to get a release from Mohan Bagan. Somehow eventually we come to some understanding that okay, fine, I pay some transfer fee and I need to get out from there. So nothing, no hard feelings to Mohan Bagan. Like I said again, even for few years, for a few months, for me to be part of the club, I really feel today. Even I said I have a very strong connect, but then I went to Dempo. Somehow I managed to convince, pay my transfer fee. I went to Dempo. That's why just remember from 2004 till 2013, if I'm not wrong, those 10 years. 2003 was the last when a Kolkata club won the National Football League, or later it's I League. So probably it just happened that I was there, and everything was going in, I would say, in favor of the other club, other club from Kolkata, not Kolkata, but Goa or Mumbai or even Bangalore. Later in the late 2008, 9, 10. So because I was very much part of that journey, where the other clubs, because we were part of the national team, everything was going in my favor as well, and I got so much of a lot of offers. Got like Mohan Bagan, East Bengal, that later part when I was very much doing well with Churchill. Hey, why don't you come to Kolkata? I said I would love to, but it's just that we have built this team all together in Churchill, and we've been winning a lot of matches, cups, tournament. And even if I would like to, it just didn't work out. There was nothing personal, with the Kolkata clubs. And eventually, I ended up with Prayak United when I got a decent offer. I think I had a 5 years. With Churchill, I think it was long 5 years, and I somehow need to move on, look for another challenge. So that's when I think I went to Prayak in the year of 2014, 13, yeah, 13, yeah.
2013, yeah.
But yeah, City is very much part of the Indian football history, and even though it was a few months and with Mohan Bagan and another season with Prayak, I said again, a lot of friends and very much connected with the City.
Mangi, you saw the transition. You played in NFL, you played in I League, you played in ISL.
Yeah.
And during that period, your period, a lot of changes that happened in Indian football. How do you assess that? How do you assess those changes?
I think it's more of a natural progression where the governing body are looking at how we can transform or improve the football scenario in the country. So maybe I would say it's not just, maybe yes, we change the name, and also at the same time changing the name. Along with changing the name, they also try to bring on few more, we talk about from I would say like from the National Football League to the I League, we had new TV rights. There were like during those when the G Sport was showing. Yes, it was a difficult period. We both will agree with even today. But I'm just saying that G Sports were coming in, and there were like live matches. There were like more people. Then again, now ISL coming in. We talk about, I think all the three names league definitely brought, and they have contributed in the best way possible for the Indian football to be where we are today. Even eventually now the ISL, which is like the top league in the country. I'm just keeping aside whatever the people will say so many things. I mean, there's a lot of topic to be discussed or debate about it. But what I want to see is after the ISL, there's the TV, the live coverage. I mean, yes, people say that the number of people coming to the stadium has dropped down. Yes, but still there are. If you see the Kerala Blasters, the number of fans, they still turn out, and there's still a lot of work to be done. But saying that the pitches, the quality of the pitches for the training and the match have improved definitely, and so I have seen a transition, but transition for the better, I would say. But yes, as a football fan, even though I play this game as a football fan, I would love to see more happening. I would love to see, that we catch up. The sooner the better for us to be, say, if you go to, say, for example, UAE, like, seeing the facilities there. So even it's a small state, right? UAE, like in a small country, I would say. So when are we going to have those, a new stadium or new football, like, quality training pitch? Or we talk about it today, since I'm a little part of the start, part of this coaching education. So when are we going to have more qualified coaches? I'm talking about the Indian coaches, because we are 1.3 billion people, and we are spread out, like, from the, it's a huge country, and we need a lot more in terms of not just about the football pitch, not just about the stadiums, but now we need to talk about the quality of the football as well. So what are we doing with the grassroots? Not just about talking the grassroots, but like, what are we doing with that? So until unless you have I think the future eventually, so those transitions, yes, people are talking a lot. Like, even the ISL is pushing for the teams to have a grassroots program and everything. So the question remains is like, how much it is happening on the ground? That is what, when I see it. So I don't know, and it's all mixed it up. But overall, I think whatever has happened so far, from the NFL to the I League, I think it's all for the better.
We expected, like, there was expectation that you would continue your national career, like 7 years with the Indian team. The kind of potential you had, we all thought. I personally felt that you could have been 12 years or 13 years at least, that average time period for a player.
Yeah.
So, what was the reason behind this short stint with the national team?
It's not me that who, even I thought that I think I could have, my last game was South Games, the final South Games finals in Nepal, in
Yeah.
Kathmandu. That was against, under WIM. That was my last game. So like I said again, if you remember, like, my debut in 2007 in Nehru Cup in Delhi. Since then, I was just waiting, because centre backs, I was Bob asked me, and started to encourage me that you will do better in the centre back. And just to think about it, the centre backs are occupied with Deepak Mandal and Mahesh Gowli. Both are seniors from academy, and two individuals who I sort of look up to all the years during my academy days. And even to be part of, to share dressing room with them, I was really happy. But at the same time, I was looking when I'm going to get my playing time. So I was looking to establish in the club as well. And when I got a chance for the national team, so I mean, like I said again, from 2007 when I got the debut, I really work. I mean, I work really hard, and to always evaluate for the selection, to stay fit, and I think to somehow manage to play 71 games in those 7 or 8 years that you mentioned. And I thought that I could play for a few more years. Then I started all the games. I worked really hard to keep my place. It wasn't easy. When I look back, there was a lot of sacrifices need to be done. Looking after myself, that's all I have to say. But it was not my decision, I would say, because ISL was just about to come in Indian football scenario in the year 2014, and I think I spoke to WIM that this is what I got an offer from the league. I sort of like the idea when the league, the representatives, the executives, when they approached me, and some of, I think, our friend, even Subroto, even me, they approached me saying that this is what it is. The ISL are looking or planning to do for the next 10, 15, 20 years for the future for the Indian football. I said, what are you guys planning? This is what we are planning, that ISL will be a new league eventually. And not that we are not discrediting what NFL or the I League have done for the Indian football, but I think we need to progress to the next level. So the next level, trying to be more run the club, run the league as more professional, more TV rights, run the league to be as a professional league. Uh, so I somehow got into their attention, and I said like, okay, fine. So what are you guys looking from us? So said like, okay, fine. There's a little tussle between the I League clubs, and so if you remember those tussles. So for whatever reason, it was, to be honest, people might say ki, I choose because of the financial or monetary reasons, but no, I would say no, because I was still getting on more or less hardly any difference in terms of my package, in terms of package, because I was more or less earning the same the package with the I League clubs as well. So for me, it was no reason to. It was not some crazy amount offered to you to be part of the I League. I said no. But I decided, okay, fine. If you think, because I've been part of the I League for many years and it's been going on. Yes, there were a few little improvement here and there, but I thought like, okay, fine. The answer is now ISL, because hopefully this will help us take to the next level. So that was the only reason I choose it. Then that what happened is, then at the course of my the course of me being part of the national team again, because when I spoke to Wim that this is what it is, but Wim was very clear and which was very fair from him. When I spoke to Wim, he said, if you are not playing in the league, then and you're not just sitting at home just training, I will not able to pick you up for the national team. So I thought at that point of time, the ISL and the I League, they will find with the support of the AIFL, they will come to some understanding and agreement that we all, I think 40, 50 of us who signed with the with the ISL, that we will get some agreement will come into place and we will get back to playing, which didn't happen for a few months. And me and Subrato ended up going to Denmark, and when the trend there, Subrato ended up signing for them. Before that, I think it was sometime in the second I think it was in the second leg of the I League. I came back from Denmark. Then I signed for Rangdajai. So by the time, I think I don't know whether it's right or wrong to say about it, but the whole idea, the decision that I took, I think Wim didn't like it. So Wim didn't like it, and but maybe there's a price that you pay at times. But with my all honesty, I did it. The decision that I took, I think most of us took, was maybe in a way that we are just trying to help something that we felt will be the future for. Like I said again, it was not nothing for the not for the monetary, because I think the paycheck was the same. If I look back, I think it's right out there on paper. So yeah, that's all. And it was difficult. Then I think Wim just decided to stick to his new group of boys. And for me, like just I thought I could have just played for a couple of more years. So if I think, I cannot change everything now. I just think about it, and instead I feel bad, or just little, I could have done this way. But I think no point of getting regret about it. But I thought, oh shit, I could have just played some more games for the country, and that was the best feeling for any football player. So it didn't happen. So that, I said, it was out of choice. It didn't. It was not my decision that I ended up playing for the country. It was still old. Yeah.
That's those 6 years, 6 to 7 years under Bob Houghton. Indian football, I would say, it became alive with a lot of positive spirit and positive mentality. Media followed you guys, the team. There was a lot of write-ups in the media. And do you think Bob was a factor?
Yeah, I think because, like I said again, it was a team. So definitely, because when I say the team, all the stakeholders, because you're talking about those 6 years during Bob, because he was a manager, he was a head coach of the team, and there's a lot of other people also working behind the team, including the AIFF, including the media family. I mean, including everyone. But eventually, everything goes on well. Then it's a head coach that we always want to give you the credit more, because something goes wrong, he's the one who's going to get fired, at the first place. So, like I said again, at least from the team point of view, from the playing team point of view, definitely it was Bob. I mean, he was today. When I get a chance to even speak to Savio sir, to Marcus, even to Pradipta, like was a trainer, to the doctor, to the physio. I talk about the training sessions. I talk about the pre and post match management, because as a player, how do I feel at that point of time? Today, when I speak to the coaches, who are all the part of the technical team, they have a different thing to say about it. So it was more about the man management that what Bob used to have. He was a strong part. I would say he was an institution in himself. It was, we don't talk much. There was less of interaction with him, but his action speaks louder than his words. And even the team meetings are less than half an hour. His interaction is very minimum, even in the training session. But the best part was everyone knows what he wants, and we all are just responding to, because I think that's a positive effect that uh, you know uh, the team got, and it's all because of him. We know that he's right behind us, doing everything for us to protect, fighting for us for the smallest of the thing, in terms of facilities, in terms of number of games he wants for the team. He wants the best for the team, and I think somehow we managed to connect. Somehow we all realize that he's the one behind us doing everything for us, and we were just ready to give everything for him. Yeah.
2011 Asia Cup, one of the finest, although India didn't proceed to the next stage. But the Bahrain game, I would recall, or many of us who had watched that game, there was a full, I mean to say, highly spirited game from the national team. And you scored a goal, Sunil scored a goal, 3-2 loss. And after the match, Bob was like, what was his explanation was, had these boys been given the chance to develop their skills, and from a very young age, Indian football would have gone further ahead.
Hmm. I think I totally agree. I don't know what exactly he meant because probably you were there, in the press. I mean, post match, the conference. Like, since you said now, you're bringing it up, saying that he said that these boys, if they got the training, which he thinks is or was lacking in the country, that's when I'm speaking about the youth development or the grassroots, because that is what even now, even I'm involved in the grassroots and youth development. So when I see, so why do say, I'm talking from the education point of view, why do we talk about Oxford or Stanford, or people say go to Stanford for your business studies, or but at least the reputation is, you expect there to have like some renowned professors, or you will find your classmates or will be like, among the all filtered and all among the best from the all over the world. So you think that you'll be getting the best knowledge and information there. So that means, like, if you don't have a good teacher, then I think it will be very difficult to find good students then. So I think that's where I think coming into, I'm not talking about the top coaches, I'm talking about the education, the football education I'm talking about at the age of 10, 12, 8, 13. So all your value system has to be like, since I don't know what exactly Bob mean, I would love to, and if I ever get to meet him, I would love to, because so many questions today I have that I would love to just bring it up to him. That so we need to groom a lot of coaches who are ready to help those 8, 10, 12 years old boys and girls. So that is where I'm talking about. If the facility, even if say tomorrow, imagine if we have all the facilities, but if we don't have a coach, then I don't think so we will ever find a good players coming from the youth development. So I think coaching education eventually, I think, is the future. When I say future, for now, that might change in the next 8, 9 years. But for now, I think we need thousand of good qualified ready coaches to guide the young kids in the right direction, tell them give them the reality that what it takes to be a good football player. So I think those are the areas.
Since you're talking about coaching, you probably one of the youngest coaches in India right now, doing your bit of contribution towards the football development. When did you actually get into the coaching more?
Uh, I mean, by I mean, license. This was I did my C license in 2014, and 16 again did the B license, and last year I completed his A license. So I think credit goes to Savio sir because he was part of the technical staff for the national team. He was with us since 2006, 7. During the Bob era, he was with Bob for like 6, 7 years. He asked me, I remember clearly, I was like, hey, have you ever thought about what are you going to do after your playing career? I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I think I was just silent for a few seconds. I was like, okay, so what do you mean, sir? It's like, because he himself played for the country, and he did his licenses, and he became the coach, and he's part of the national team. Then he said, so why you ask me that? I said, like, no, I'm just asking, just if you have any plan. I said, like, no, I haven't really, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have, yeah, I know you have still a lot of years to play, but just asking, you have ever thought about it? If it came across your mind? I said, no, I haven't really thought about it. So then he said, like, so do you ever thought about coaching? I said, he said the reason coaching was not necessary that you have to become a coach, but it was easy for any football player or a former player to get into coaching. Easy in a sense, like because you live with the game for so many years, relate to the.
Where do we see Manipur in the next 5 years or 10 years down the line in Indian football?
It is a very tricky question to answer just in one line. When do we, when where do I see Manipur football in the next 10 years? Because if we continue the same cycle, I think not about being critical on any stakeholders, whether it is the governing body AMFA or we can with the government or even any private sectors, because I think the first and foremost all we need to do is everyone to come on the table, because uh, until unless we sort out, I won't say the issue itself, but to at least realizing that when was the last that Manipur won a Santos Trophy, for example. Santos Trophy today is under 23, or even we talk about the 17 nationals and the 20 nationals. When was the Manipur state team won the? Because we just go and participate. They might just say the governing body might say, oh no, the cream of the state players from the state they went out at the early age. But is it that enough? But even we see the national teams, we don't have too many representatives from our state. And yes, there are a couple of boys coming in and out because we have this culture. For the last 30 years, we have a history of a lot of players coming out from the state. But today, what I do feel is, I think it's not a time to blame one another, but I think time for us to realize that other states like Mizoram, for example, even to an extent, Ceylon, even other northeast, even neighboring states already gone or already gone ahead of us in terms of running the game, in terms of a lot of things. So, are we going to just being ignorant about it, or are we going to say like, hey, let's accept that we are not anymore the so-called the footballing state in the country? No, we are not. Yes, there's still a lot of football, but since we are talking about, we are already more or less into the professional footballs in the I League or even in the ISL. So to be part of it, everything has to be systematic. Everything there has to be structure. So are we all ready to be part of it, or are we just going to be like just playing the blame game and just happy being whatever it is, chal rahe, ho rahe, hone de, or to have a target to achieve something by say in another 10 years. So I think until unless we sort out that, I don't think so that where if we continue, then I think it's going to be the same old story. But I think we need to all come back to the to the one level and set a target. So we don't have a target. Let's put it that way. We don't have a goal and we don't have a target. So I don't think so that what are we trying to achieve and what our goal, we don't have it. So we need to have that for us as a players, management, governing body, or even the government, any officials, and so hopefully, let's see. I mean, I think we are trying. Let's see if we all can contribute in some way or the other to support the state football FPOs.
Thanks, Mangi, for giving us your time, your valuable time, and joining with us. And wish you all the best in your all future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Amin. Bye. Good to see you. Yeah, and all the best to you.